We got black screen. Alright. No. He's moving. Just funnel back into your position. Alright, we're right on board with our pole sitter at the moment, championship for us. He's leading the field around. GS cars warming up their tires. Championship, let me know when you're rounding the last corner. It's left side. Our next race is Road Atlanta. Alright guys, start doubling up. I would have to look. I'd have to look. Drivers are rounding the last corner. GS class only. Green, 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 green for GS. They'll be off, all 4 cars. And then we'll hop back on TCR field. Green, 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 green as well. All flags are green for all classes. As they now take off down the front straight. Honda Watts gets a great launch for turn 2, essentially. Heavy braking. Oh, look at that. Around the outside. The Audi tries to make a move. Doesn't quite get it done. That Honda makes it stick. Still too wide as they head through turn 4. Right-hander still side by side as they head towards turn 5. This is going to be TCR for the remainder of the race. 2 rows, 2 wide. Bo and Trickster, and Watts and Volcano. Head back up front with our
GS. We got the 2
overall
McLarens
pole sitter.
Neck and neck going into the corkscrew.
Oh, looks like Black locks up heading for the inside line into the corkscrew.
ZR1 still on championship, a small gap forming between the Mercedes
Championship
and
getting a little squirrely.
Front row McLarens. McLarens are now almost side by side going into the second to last corner. Championship maintaining his lead by ZR1. Lost a little bit of distance, locking up, going into the hairpin. Coming around the corner, still directly behind each other. Mr. Watts making a move on Volcano, leading to a position change. Championship locking up hard going into the first corner. Black 01 going on the inside. Side by side, championship maintaining it. Saving his position, but now 01 is right up next to him.
Jump back onto the replay cameras for that cinematic angle. Zoom in as it looks like the GS class, now that they're out in front of the TCR field, they'll have a much easier time pulling away from those TCR machines. Pretty close in lap times out the gate, in pace-wise, but once tires come up, the GS class is a few seconds faster.
some McLarens
Championship.
on each
A little
other.
squirrely. Black ZR1 looks a little more planted coming out of that corkscrew.
Well, championship maintain a little bit of a gap. It looks like ZR1 might be making a move on the inside, locking up as the
Yeah,
inside
huge
line.
lockup from Black ZR1 there.
They are now side by side going up the front straight.
Black ZR1 falls in behind him.
A little bit more of a run. ZR1 is not getting off the back of that first car. Not getting off the back of Champ, excuse me. I don't know what stuff is just coming out of my mouth.
As Viper and Diablo themselves are having a battle just a little bit further behind them for third place overall.
But, oh, it actually looks like one of them made a move.
Oh, Viper made a move up the inside there. Can he make it stick? And he does. Porsche up into the third position.
A really good run going out of that corner there, giving Viper just the grip that he needed to get through that corner.
McLaren comes back, with a little bit of a bumper tap, sending the Porsche fishtailing down the corkscrew. Still glued to each other, though. Mercedes goes wide out of the hairpin down the front straight. That Porsche with the mid-engine power. All right, you got a full course yellow out between Smokes and Type. First yellow. Yo. Black. And Champ was ahead under yellow. Oh, maybe you should jump in Discord and communicate with him. Communicate. As the field starts to gather back up. Now under yellow conditions, the entire field, I don't know if the field would slow down to 50 miles an hour. Alright, all cars are here. Cars are rounding the last corner. All cars. Green flag, green flag, green flag. Go, go, go. Heavy braking for the GS class into turn 1.
ZR1 on the
McLarens
inside
are side by side. A little bit of tire and bumper rubbing by the rest of the field. Yep, there is another car off there. That's another full course yellow. Cautions bring cautions. Well, I mean, you guys were arguing, so the... I know, that's the issue. Alright, all cars are caught back up. We will go green this time by. I mean, yes, but I shouldn't be the one doing it. No. Alright. Drivers coming out of the last corner, you guys will be slowing down to about 40 miles an hour to avoid the accordion effect. Alright, as we're on board with TCR. Green flag, green flag, green flag! Green flag conditions once again. Wait for the stream to catch up. And there you go. And Diablo makes it by the majority of the TCR field on the outside of that restart. This Nighthawk gets a little bunts under braking, as the TCR cars are still too wide up front, putting a very big roadblock for CPS Diablo at the moment. As looks like Country makes a move up the inside there. Yep, that is 3 wide up a hill. Left-hander up the hill. There we go. Still on board with this TCR battle. It is just a gaggle of cars as they head towards the corkscrew. Nose to tail, still too wide with Watts in the back of the pack right now, right next to Nighthawk. Cars have to go wide to avoid each other there. As Smokes is on the inside line on the downhill, but Volcano still makes his way around in the Audi. A couple cars go off as they went too wide through the right-hander, into the hairpin, back down the front straight. That is one completed lap under green flag conditions after our second caution. I have a sneaking suspicion that we will see a few more. Looks like Diablo made through the TCR field on that last lap, now hunting down Viper in the Porsche. Just confusing. Ooh, yeah, 2 cars off. The left-hander going up the hill, though 3 cars, yeah, off, so that is another full course yellow. Alright, yellow, yellow, yellow for all cars. We'll jump back up front. That is a... Alright, I think everybody will be caught up, I think. Alright, coming out of the last turn. Green flag, green flag, green flag. Go, go, go. That is under caution number 3. We are back under green flag action after a quick reset. Look at that beautiful line as they head across the checkered. They spread out quite nicely, trying to get an advantage over the hill into turn 1. GS files in line. Oh, as look at Black ZR1 looks to the inside of Championship. Couldn't quite get the pass done. Falls back in behind. Looking for another opportunity, as now Diablo is all over the back of Viper after having an incident with a couple of the TCR cars under the second caution. Let's file back in the backpack here to watch a little bit of the TCR action, as we have Bo right next to Volcano as they head up the hill, quarter panel to quarter panel. Looks like a car gets a little sideways there at the bottom of the hill. Didn't quite see what was going on. A little tap from Bo, losing a little bit of speed as Country making his way through the both of them. Oh, side by side with Volcano. Not quite getting the pass done there. Bo around the outside of the corkscrew. Both drivers staying off of each other. That is some clean racing right there as they head down the hill now. As they file in line, completing yet another lap. Oh, Watts doing a little dive bomb into the hairpin, a little bit of bumper rubbing as they come out. Almost 3 wide between Trickster, Watts, and Smokes, but they all file back in line across the line. Head down towards turn 1 once again. Jet back onto the replay camera for some cinematic action of the TCR field, as they are still nose to tail. Cautions, the drivers get mixed up on the grid. Let's jump up a little bit further on the pack as CPS Diablo makes a move around the outside of Viper, going up the hill. Who's got the ponies to make it the move with Viper on the inside line? Viper comes back out in front of the Mercedes. Heavy braking into the corkscrew. Left sweeper down the hill as they are bumper to bumper. A little bit of wiggle from the Mercedes of Diablo keeps them under check. Who's that? That was Nighthawk and Country, I believe. Hear nothing on the radio from those two drivers. Okay, alright. Well, it is continued green flag racing then. Nighthawk getting a little sideways into turn 2 and 3 there. Jump back up front with the McLarens of Championship and Black CR1 as Black CR1 looks to the inside towards the top of the hill, falls back in behind. It's a dicey corner to make a move as Champ goes wide off into the gravel as Black CR1 gets a great run around the inside into the corkscrew. Champ doing a late break on the outside, side by side down the corkscrew. Looks like Black CR1's nose is ahead at the moment as they head towards the left sweeper. Black CR1 sliding in front of Champ, holding onto the first position, as it also looks like Diablo made his way around Viper just behind them. Champ is not going to let go of that first position just like that. He is going to come back hard as both drivers pushing hard onto the front straight.
I don't think these cars have been more than 150
across the line
apart at any point in time.
Yeah, they're... I don't know if they know how to stay away from each other. Multiple races now, those McLarens have run nose to tail for a decent amount of laps. Diablo now has a little bit of a gap between him and Viper just behind this battle up front. Now that That battle a little settled down. Oh, big twitch from Championship as Black now has a little bit of a breathing room to just lay down some laps after that little mistake by Champ. Don't want to do that too much. Diablo is there. Settle, he put his head down and catch that front group as well, while those two battle it out. Well, that's going on. Looks like Trickster up front in TCR class here. Had a great run after that restart with a couple of the cars incidents. Oh, a couple cars go wide. There, coming across the top of the hill. Looks like Bo, Watts, and Volcano, all three of them battling nose to tail with Smokes close in their shadow. It's all three cars in TCR at the moment. Chevy Cruze, Honda, and the Audi. As Watts is pushing Bo through some of these corners into the hairpin. For the inside line from that Honda goes the Chevy Cruze of Smokes, goes wide in the hairpin. That Audi tucked right up underneath Watts, coming across the line. Great battle to watch there.
Wide to that corner again.
Battle between the two McLarens still rages on. As Black goes a little wide through the corkscrew, allowing Championship to close that gap once again. Oh, Championship really got a loose setup on that car, it seems. He's getting real squirrely coming off of the compression zones on this track. Black Sierra 1's setup is a little more comfortable, it seems. Doesn't like to be pushed as hard as that McLaren behind him.
Yeah, in the end, Sierra 1's been running very, very smooth all night. Championship has the pace, but he's been making these small little errors that ended up costing his current position. So if Championship wants any hope of getting back in front of Sierra 1, he's got to really make that McLaren stick.
Yeah, and he's got to keep it consistent after the pass. He can push hard, but if he can't keep the car under him, Black Sierra 1 is just going to take advantage of that later on for the long haul of the race. With about 20 minutes to go until the first pit window opens. Well, it's the only pit window of this race. We got a lot of racing until pit sequences take effect. Some of those onboard camera angles Forza loves to promote so much for some reason of you not actually looking at the cars. Championship really looking for a way by Black at the moment, but between the lap times of these two drivers, they are so similar. Black looking for an outside move in the hairpin. Getting pushed wide as Black 01 has to really check up on the acceleration. Champ makes his way by. Black 01 falling in behind though. Black 01 really consistent, really smooth in his car. He's just got to keep the pressure on Champ. As Champ goes wide in turn 2.
Wide again going into turn 1.
Yeah, Black trying to look like he's capitalized. Does a little tap to let him know he's there around the outside. Funnels in underneath.
Championship has gone wide in that corner 3 times now, so far during this race.
Oh, he goes wide a little bit there too. Doesn't really look like it affected his speed out of the corner a whole lot there.
Championship most likely running a very unlocked differential setup.
That's a DC. And that was Bo. DC from a top contender. Ooh, there's another car off here. Oh, nope, it was just lag. Yeah, it looks like the... yeah. It's a lag from... most likely from the DC. Just riding on board from Country here. His car is quite beaten up from all sides. I don't know if that's from lag or from just the nature of TCR class at the moment. We'll go back and we'll check a couple of the other cars to see if they have any bruised body panels. Doesn't look like this is a first in really quite a while, as the TCR field is quite spread out at the moment. That's a rarity in itself. As Viper makes his way around Diablo at some point. I missed that on track. Those two going at it over and over so far. Porsche goes around the left-hander up the hill with Diablo close in tow. Compression zone, that left-hander at the top of the hill. The car set up just right. Looks like a speed boost. Right, Mario Kart. Noticing a few things from the various cars here in GS. It looks like the McLaren and the Porsche love the first sector. That Mercedes, that big front engine Mercedes, loves from the corkscrew down. That's where Diablo is making up all of his time on the Porsche. That last sector there, as both McLarens are still going at it.
The gap between Viper and Diablo has definitely gotten smaller. Mercedes is right up on him now. Currently going through turn 3.
Oh, it looks like Volcano and Watts are duking it out for second overall in class, as Watts is now in second place with Volcano close in tow, which is 6th and 7th overall on grid, as Trickster is out front just trying to put the laps down, trying to kill the clock. He knows that those two drivers behind him are pretty quick, but if he keeps himself on the track and in clean air, keep those two behind him battling, he can take advantage.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, Watts actually qualified on pole by 3/10 of a second, and now he's back fighting for a third position. Just goes to show you, Mazda is a very reasonably shaken up track, you know, when it comes to overall pace. Perfect example of McLaren's as well. Can't seem to get off each other, even though there's 2/10 between them on a track this small for qualifying.
Yes. As all these drivers here are battling for not just the overall win here tonight, but as in the championship battle as well. All of those points, I think, between the top 6 drivers are pretty close in points. Any mix-up in the final standings this race will definitely throw a wrench in the mix for the final race at Road Atlanta in a few weeks' time. Trying to accumulate as many points as possible in the final races of the season. 15 minutes until the first pit window opens. Drivers are still battling hard. So we'll go back a little bit further in TCR as Nighthawk and Country bring up the back of the TCR field, but still battling nonetheless. Chevy Cruise and the Audi of Nighthawk. is Diablo. Mercedes and Viper in the Porsche, still nose to tail. I'm honestly surprised in the final couple races here of the season. At the beginning of the season, it was all about TCR. There was a huge field of TCR at the beginning of the season, and that was door to door. All like of the first couple races, but now it seemed to do like a complete 180 from Road America onward. It seems like we've had nothing but GS battles that have taken the main spotlight in all positions on the track.
Yeah, I'm just showing you. I mean, we only have the two cars in TCR really battling right now. Volcano definitely up on watts, but both sets of GS cars, the McLaren's currently way out in front of the other GS cars, but when it comes to the cars together, there hasn't been more than, I'd say, maybe a 1.5 second gap between any of the cars.
Yeah, even coming into this race, we knew the McLaren was going to have the pace just because of the preliminary build that's on that machine. It doesn't have the legs for a track like Daytona. Oh, his championship has a huge wiggle coming out of the left sweeper. Still has the inside line into the right-hander. Kind of trying to block the path for Black, but Black says no. Doesn't get the pass done, but made an attempt. That was a huge wiggle from our overall leader of the race. That could have been disastrous, but that was a great save.
And once again, Champ does have, he has the overall pace in the car, but the ZR1 is pushing him into mistakes. ZR1's pushing him into mistakes, causing him to, you know, open advantages so that he can take the position. And it's working. It's definitely, Champ has made a few consistent errors throughout this race, and ZR1's been able to capitalize on that.
Yes. Some lyrics from Eminem fall into mind.
Please don't say them.
Can't sing it because I'll get demonetized on YouTube when I post it, so insert here. There you go. Exactly. Yes. No, it's not a thing. I was just poking fun at the everyone that's getting taken down. No. Yes, this race will be on YouTube. And speaking to like our commentary and all of that. Yes, Yuma, go ahead.
Like the gaps between Smoke and Type is getting a lot smaller now. Type appears to be right on top of Smokes. Type actually going in for the overtake on the inside. Make it stick though. Like Smokes has a good run on the outside, and he makes the pass.
Yeah, but will he maintain it? That Chevy Cruze is pretty quick here. Oh, as both drivers go wide at the top of the hill. No huge speed difference between the two. Heavy braking into the corkscrew.
Hey, doing fantastic in making his way up the grid there. The Smoke's going really tight going through the corkscrew.
Visibility out of that Chevy Cruze is really not the greatest if you're driving cockpit view. So coming down that corkscrew,
apparently overtook Championship for the lead.
We missed that overall. Let's jump back up there. Let's see what happens after that unfolds. Looks like Championship went wide a little bit at one point. Now Black ZR1 capitalizes. They head through the corkscrew, still bumper to bumper. As they head down the corkscrew. Yeah. Championship pushing Black ZR1. Now we've seen this here before. Champ may make a move to get a pass, but the consistency of Black ZR1 throughout this entire race so far has proven to be vital. As he runs the inside line, trying to take any aero advantage away from that second place McLaren. They head towards the braking zone. Little bit of bump from Championship. You see goes for the inside line. Makes it stick, but Black ZR1 is still right there. championship. Looks like he makes the way around as Black looks to go to the outside through turn 4. He falls in behind.
I seriously don't think
5.
I've ever seen racing this close ever.
Yeah, no,
These
these
have
two
been on
GS
top of
cars.
each other.
Like, even though that they are the same machine, having two drivers this close for this long is a rarity in most esports leagues, let alone, you know, 4 cars in a class. And there hasn't been but, what, 40 feet in between each pair of cars so far this race?
Cars are insanely close.
Even if we back up to 3rd and 4th, which is Viper and Diablo, they are still nose to tail as well. And those are 2 different machines, 2 very different machines. Kudos to the long hours of BOP that have been done on those machines.
X01 got a good
Obvious.
run going through that corner. He's got the inside line going into turn 1.
He's got the
Heavy
inside
overtake
line.
area. A little bit of smoke comes
It's a
in on the
great
inside.
overtake.
Make
Close
it
the door
stick,
on Champ to make it stick.
Still on the inside
Championship
line.
still on
going
the
into
inside
turn
in
3.
turn 4. Oh, they're still side by side. Great camera angle, Forza. You're doing well. There we go. Now we can see the action. It looks like Championship made it by... Your guess is as good as mine as how that went through, but you can piece it together. So Black ZR1 looks up the inside, under the top of the hill. Oh, both go a little wide in the sand. No real advantage from one another.
From Volcano's still battling back in P2, P3 of PCR. They're still on.
Very much still battling. They are glued to each other. Yep. And those, yeah, it looks like the tail end of TCR. They're about to have their own traffic jam. Once the 3 of them start battling, Nighthawk is going to join that fray for sure. This Champ does a little wiggle coming out of that last corner.
Smoke looks like he's closing the gap that Type made on him earlier.
Oh, as Champ goes wide into turn 1 again.
Definitely got to be something
big drift
with the
by
brake
him.
setup on that car.
Yeah, either the biased or he's running super low aero on that machine.
Yeah, Mazda's a very, very hard track to tune for, you know, especially depending on the car. Some cars function a lot better without downforce than other cars do. And some cars, it requires downforce.
Yeah, I mean, even though that this is a simulated racetrack, it's a very slippy track due to all the sand. I'm not sure if that was calculated into it, but just from my eye, it looks like the cars are having a hard time for grip coming out of a lot of these corners.
Smokes is right up on Type now, going across the last corner. Definitely shorten the gap, trying to get back at him for the overtake that was made earlier. Coming up, going into turn 1, is he going to try to make a move here? He does it, locks up. The Type goes wide.
Smokes going for that inside line, not quite there to make the move.
Definitely, since Type's focusing on defending against Smokes right now, Country's actually getting the gap much smaller between the 2 cars, so very soon we could be seeing a 3-way battle.
I mean, not too long, though. We have less than 5 minutes for our pit window to open, but as that unfolds, you'll have GS class mingling with the back end of TCR, probably just before as pits are open. So whoever gets caught in GS TCR traffic The strategy is a huge factor at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
When to go into pit.
Pit windows can definitely make or break races, especially depending on when you go in. Common scenario with the pit windows in this series is when safety cars are called out and cars have already pitted, they lose the advantage that they gained on trying to make an undercut. But
Absolutely.
we got a little bit more of a distance now between Watts and Volcano. Trickster's still sitting up there though.
Watts made the edge on Volcano and now has a little bit of breathing room, but it's still not a super decisive battle there.
ZR1 back into the lead, and GS going side by side, coming up the front straight on the finish line. ZR1 has the inside line.
ZR1 trying to make that inside line work as Champ really goes deep with the brakes. Giving the position to Black. Now Black is going to hold that line, keeping it out of Championship's grasp.
ZR1's very much playing a very, very effective game on Championship right now. Keeps pressuring him into mistakes, keeps pressuring him, and it leads to ZR1. Now, if ZR1 can simply just maintain a gap between him and Championship, he might as well have this race.
Yeah, I mean, even with the pit windows coming up, it's when the TCRs go into pit lane, and when the GSs go into pit lane, who will they come out behind or in front of? That's a full course yellow in the bottom of the corkscrew. That's a full course yellow in the corkscrew. So full course yellow, full course yellow. A little bit of contact between Smokes and Country coming through the corkscrew. A little bit of fender lock caused those two to spin out into the tire wall there. Say what?
Both cars.
Yeah, full course yellow, full course yellow.
Reasonably untouched.
Yeah, it looks real squirrely.
Trickster is definitely not going to be happy
TCR,
with the
Country,
safety
go
car.
around. Country, you need to take your drive-by. GS. GS, let Country by. Okay. Alright, we are about a minute until pit window opens, so this will actually end up being a long caution. We'll have pits open under caution. So all drivers that will want to, all drivers that want to pit will have the opportunity to pit under yellow flag, which is quite effective for throwing everyone's pit strategy out the window if they had one.
Yeah, Tricksters, who was maintaining a very decent gap in front of Watts and Volcano, definitely going to be upset. That massive lead is going to be dropped down now with the safety car.
I don't think all the cars will. Right now, pits are closed. So we'll do one more lap, then pits will open for all cars. He spun out.
Oh, Championship. Championship once again not having the greatest luck in this race so far.
We'll do one more time by, and then the pits will be open for all cars. And while we're under caution, I'm going to do another shameless plug. So if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, this is round 7 of 8 for our Michelin Pilot Challenge series. And our ALMS series has one more race. So that means our winter season will be coming up shortly. On the 15th, we will have our NASCAR truck exhibition race. No registration needed, but you will be able to pick up the build and just run with whatever we have. Those cars are a lot of fun. I'm not sure exactly what track race admin had decided to run yet, but nevertheless, it is going to be an oval, and it is going to be a lot of fun. September 15th for that race as well. Don't forget to check out all of our other races. Our Paddock Sim Racing Endurance GT Championship is back for Season 2. That brought a lot of great competition in our GT class, as well as our new earlier race for the paddock will be hosted at 1:30 ES Eastern Standard Time. It is our Formula E series. Trickster, can you please... No, stop. Behave yourselves.
Just wait till I'm the race steward.
Good.
Maximum penalty.
You just can't control these TCR drivers. They're just a bunch of animals. Alright, this time by, remember pits are open for everybody. Once you're heading into pit lane, try to give each other a little bit of space, but, you know, don't pile in there. It's going to... Pits are open for everybody. I believe there should be enough for 13 drivers. 12 drivers. I can't count. Alright, 11 drivers. No. Yep, you see that in all of our GT4 series races, as cars glitch sideways, drive all over each other. Perfect. As we're on board with Black CR1 at the moment, as he leapfrogs in front of everybody, his Viper's close on his tail. And they're exiting pit lane. All drivers are leaving. GS Clex comes out as they came in. Now Watts collecting a position under pit stop. His crew was on point. Trickster's probably sweating at the moment. Alright guys, remember speed's 50 miles an hour. Single file. Type also made up a position there. Now in front of Volcano, I think. Yes. Alright, so everybody's out of pits at the moment, so we will go green this time by. TCR field frantically warming up their tires as GS now got a little bit of a shakeup as the McLarens are now separated by one Porsche and one Mercedes.
Boston champ trying to push his way back into a podium position. It'll be a very interesting finish.
Yeah, this is going to be quite an ordeal. So we're going to actually ride on board with championship at the moment. Yeah, no passing before the start finish line, unless you're a rear class, but that's not the case here. Alright, as the class is starting around the last corner. Green flag, green flag, green flag! All cars are now green, so we're riding on board with championship at the moment as the green flag flies across the line. They all go.
Oops, I'm going way wide.
TCR championship losing a lot of ground under the 3 wide scenario. In turn 1 in GS has caught on the outsides. They're 3 wide for 2 different classes there as Volcano, Nighthawk, and Champ. There, turn 3 or 4 there. As Champ now has a lot of ground to make up for the rest of GS. And I was starting to make a little bit of leeway. Champ closing quickly on those TCR cars. The inside couldn't quite get it done there for the lead battle. TCR. These cars shockingly close in speed. So we'll jump up front real quick. The battle of Black ZR1 and Viper and Diablo at the moment. The podium positions as of current. Love tap there from the Mercedes to the Porsche. Looks like championship now making his way past the leaders of TCR. Does good to get by them on the front straight. The only opportunity really to lay down the legs of the faster GS cars on this particular track.
Now Champ has to make his way through the rest of the GS grid so he can get back to ZR1. But if ZR1 can maintain the pace that we've been seeing from them all day, then it's going to be very hard for Champ to remake that gap up.
Yeah, he's got a battle with a Mercedes and a Porsche, as well as run down Black ZR1, but it seemed pretty tricky to keep ZR1, away from him. So, big slide from the Porsche of Viper, but Viper collects it as Diablo of the Mercedes tries to do an outbreak over the top of the corkscrew. I can't even talk, it's so exciting. Let's go back to the replay camera now that they're done with their final first lap. Diablo does a little push.
Watts, Trickster, and Volcano all right up on each other. The podium positions. Consider it a fight for first. As 2 of them go wide. 2 wide going to the hairpin. Trickster's on the outside. Watts gets the run in on him though.
Watts still out in front of that battle with 2 angry Audis right behind him. You think there's any team orders going on there between those 2, or are they just out for a dogfight?
Absolutely
between
not.
the 2 Audis?
Little love tap on Watts as Trickster's goes in on the inside.
Oh yeah, Trickster making a move.
Malty 21.
Watts still maintaining that lead for now.
Diablo making it
really
past Viper.
looking angry behind him. Yeah, Diablo now up into 2nd place as Viper falls back to 4th in class. Championship made his way by as well during that encounter. Championship has 1 more in front of him. We're going to stay on this TCR battle at the moment between these guys. They're going at it. Just going to Dive up the inside. Trickster with a dive up the inside as Watts goes for the over-under. Making the move stick as they drag to the straight, the front finish straight. Over the crest of the hill. Still side by side with Watts on the inside. Still Volcano just waiting there patiently to make his way through once the opportunity is given. Still side by side as Watts again with the inside line. Black CR1 kind of making his move away from the rest of the pack as Trickster moving side by side with Watts as Volcano looks like he's pushing Watts on the inside. That's not team orders. Oh, what good fun to watch. Oh, 2 cars go wide as Trickster looks up the inside line. Staying on track will have the inside line into the corkscrew. Oh, goes a little wide as Watts takes the inside line. Isn't effective on the pass. Falls in behind. All 3 cars go wide on the sweeper on the downhill. 2 wide now. Watts on the outside line. It's now an Audi sandwich with Honda in the middle.
Yeah, we saw Trickster capitalize on the battle between Watts and Volcano earlier, and now let's see if he can capitalize on that again, as Watts wants to go and defend his position.
Yeah, even with that battle for the podiums up front in TCR, the battle in the back of the pack is just as real as Smokes is now pulling away from that little battle, as Country, Type, and Nighthawk are just as close together with nose to tail. Yeah. Looks like the Audi of Volcano made his way around Watts. Top of the hill there. It's 1-2 Audi in TCR at the moment. If anything I've seen like at Daytona, the Audis love to play nice with each other. A great rhythm. Well, the cars do, the drivers may not. How about that scenario? As Trickster is out in the lead, going a little wide into the turns 1-2 sector there. Volcano around the outside, looking for that move, that pass. Over-under scenario, doesn't quite find it, falls in behind. Since our last caution, the battles have flipped classes once again, as now the GS class is now all spread out and taking their paces. It is now the TCR's turn to battle it out. That's what I like to see. It's about a half an hour left to go in the race. Side by side as they go down the corkscrew. Just feet in between those top 3 drivers at the moment. If that. Great racing going on in TCR, but we'll jump up front for second overall on grid at the moment, as Championship now makes his way by CPS Diablo, as Black ZR1 has his little gap of breathing room. He may now have to start pushing a little harder in his McLaren, now that Champ has made his way by the Mercedes of Diablo. I don't think Diablo's going to try and let that pass go unspoken. Looks like a car goes wide at the top of the hill, and the top three drivers there in TCR. I don't think there was any position changes. There was not. As Smokes and Country are now fighting with Type just a little bit further back on track. There. Right on board with our overall leader at the moment, Black CR1 and his 76 McLaren Compass 360 machine. Cars. A little roughed up from the door-to-door racing, but if they were nice, clean, and pristine, it just wouldn't be as fun to watch. Down corkscrew now. What an experience. Audis and TCR still side by side. The 77 and the 777. Mirror to mirror as they go through turns 4. This is some close racing. Well, not that you can see right now because of Forza's cameras, but now, there you go. Now you can see it. Drive through that sector faster, as Watts making his move on Volcano there. He's on the outside line, and he makes the pass. There's now an Audi sandwich once again, as now Watts looking up the inside of Trickster. I don't think he's going to make that move stick just yet, still following him behind, as all three cars head through the corkscrew. Defensive line. It's good fun watching those cars go down that downhill. GS class now well spread out. Battles are all TCR in the second half of this race. on board with our TCR points championship driver, the LA Honda World, as Nighthawk gets a little squirrely in front of him there. Collects it nicely. Can the Honda capitalize? Nighthawk going real wide out of the second to last corner there, heading into the hairpin. Super defensive line as Type gets the better run out of the corner there. Who's got it to the line? Up to the TCR. Watts now out in front of the pair of Audis. I don't think they'll separate themselves until the flag flies. And overall is still your McLaren leader of Black ZR1 with championship. Looks like he's reeling him in just a little bit lap after lap, with Diablo kind of doing the same. The gap between Black and Diablo has not really gained or decreased over the last couple laps at the moment, but it looks like Viper has dropped back a little bit from this battle. If there was an off-track excursion or not, but it seems to be the case. Oh, driver radio says he hit a wall. Stop him though. We have miracle cars and they don't take damage. Dory from Finding Nemo just keeps winning. This is the battle to watch. With Watts out in lead and TCR still 3 feet, if that, between cars. Oh, as Trickster goes around the outside of Watts. Couldn't get the line he liked, so he fell back in behind Watts. I don't English much. I English no goo. I'm incredibly well versed in Weasel. As it looks like Volcano pushing Watts down the front straight to keep him side by side with the Audi. What team are you on? As Trickster goes on the inside. Yeah, yeah, the content is created, as you say. It is quite amazing to watch. Yeah. Yeah, the contracts are being signed as we speak. He's actually FaceTiming while he's driving. Three separate paired battles going on at the moment in TCR. The top 3, the podium sitters of Trickster, Volcano, and Watts. Volcano made his way around Watts there. So we were under driver spectate. And then you have Big Country in 4th in class. 5th in class is Smokes right behind him. Those two battling it out. Both of those are Chevy Cruzes. We have the Honda of type in front of the Audi of Nighthawk, who we're right on board with as they head through the corkscrew. Bit of a track cut there as soon as we jump in, but I'll let that slide for this one. Catch it again, you're grounded. Yeah, I don't numbers as good as I English, so that's a hard no. If my lovely co-host Yuma would love to do some calculations as he sees fit, I would not be opposed
Am I
to it,
calculating?
because I know he does numbers.
No,
No.
I was grabbing my calculator. So what am I calculating?
I don't know where the points for that is. I could try to
Either on
find
the
it, though.
website or further up in Discord. In Michelin.
Scroll to Discord. Sorry, I was making my
As
depressing
Tricksters
Instagram
now has a little bit of breathing room from Watts and Volcano. With 16 minutes to go, thereabout. Can he keep that breathing room? You end at 15. 15 till. As we have Black ZR1 now has the lights of championship and the other McLaren closing in on him as they head towards the last bit of this race. All he's got to do is hang on for just a bit longer.
See, usually the commenters don't do this. Usually they have somebody do this for us.
Yeah, they're like, I need a calculator that calculates things for me. Siri?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to. Let's see.
Oh, it's already been. I tried thinking, and that was it.
Well, as it stands, regardless of what position championship finishes in, he simply has to finish this race to win the championship.
That is correct.
In TCR, who do we have in front right now? Is it still Tricksters?
Yeah, Trickster's out in front in TCR with Volcano in second and Watts close on his tail.
Well,
Overall
as it
championship points leaders in
stands,
6th place.
he's in 6th right now?
Yes. Nighthawk is
Well, I will
breathing
say
down his
that
neck.
the championship will definitely be dictated, just from what I can see, if he's going to be in 6th, then he's going to lose a lead by over 10 points. You'll still be in the lead. Pipe will still be in the lead. But Tricksters will be within 10 points.
So his
As it
almost
currently
40-point
stands.
gap will drop to 10. Oof.
If you finish 7th, you'll be a
as
lot closer than
Nighthawk.
you want to be.
Nighthawk now making the move up the inside line into the corkscrew.
Unless either Type and Trickster do not finish this race, Watts will be unable to win the championship.
Well, that was dangerous information. The evil plotting has started to take over from our drivers.
However, Smokes, Nighthawk, and Watts, though, can fight for the last podium in the championship, as there's only 4 points between them.
It's going to be interesting once the final calculations are done with pole position and final points tallies for the end of this race, as final positions are not yet settled with less than 13 minutes to go in the race. It is still an all-out dogfight between 3 different pairs of drivers in TCR, so it could go any way for any of these drivers at the moment. As Black CR1 still out in front with championship closing the gap.
On the plus
Ever so
side, I've
steadily.
only been to 1 NPC race, and I'm 6th in the championship.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this racing here, I don't know why we don't have a fuller field. It is just an epic battle all over the place. It would only be better with more drivers. That is absolutely the case. As it looks like our GS field
Follow me on
is
Instagram.
actually catching the tail of TCR. So this is going to be a epic last couple minutes of this race.
You better not go
Wide
wide.
or maximum penalties.
Our next season race steward is already in practice.
Oh, yes. I've already found 4 people to give penalties so far this race.
Are they all Gilsinger?
Actually, no.
Nighthawk in a little squirrely behind Type as Black ZR1 is now catching the tail end of the TCR field. This is going to be a make or break scenario with these TCR cars in front of him, as championship is now right there. If he can capitalize on the passes of the TCR field, it could either he could gain a lot of track space. Although it does not
Did
look
they
like
make
that is the
contact?
case.
Is there a penalty?
No, not yet. As Black CR1 makes his way through Nighthawk, going a little bit wide. Oh, his championship goes wide out of the bottom of the corkscrew, losing a lot of track space to Black ZR1, as ZR1 still needs to make his way around Type. Type holding his racing line quite well, heading into the hairpin, but those TCR cars have great brakes into the slow corners as Black makes his way around, as championship still needs to make the pass on both the TCR cars. Not sure if he'll be able to get by them on this front straight. Does not look like it, but he'll have the inside line on Nighthawk heading into turn 1 there. Into turn 2, looking the inside line of Type. Nighthawk looking to capitalize on the pass. Trying to follow that MIchelin, couldn't quite get the draft. Type funnels in right behind championship. Now Black ZR1 with a little bit of breathing room again.
Champ has
That
every
battle.
possibility to bring back this race win, but he's got to maintain insanely consistent if he's going to try to bridge that gap between himself and ZR1.
Less than 10 minutes to go for all the drivers, as the two drivers battling for second in TCR right now, still side by side down the front straight. Volcano takes the position away from Watts.
Tuning into the race chatter, the drivers appear to be very intent on each other.
They are getting very hyped. Watts has the inside line heading up the hill at the moment. Still side by side, no room between them. Great driving, staying off of each other as they're still side by side heading through the kink at the top of the hill. Still side by side, heading up into the corkscrew. A little bit of bumping and rubbing as both heavy braking.
So, I don't understand hugely exactly how this ticket thing works, but how much time do we have left? Because as far as I know, we're still on lap 3.
Yeah, the ticker is broken. I have my own stopwatch basically going, and we have, what, 7 minutes left? Just 12 minutes.
Did you just get the end of race timer wrong?
Penalty.
Yeah, the commentators get penalties. Yeah, there's about 7 minutes left remaining in the race. I don't have an exact number because I have a separate timer.
5 laps left to go.
But the battle between Smokes and Country is literally bumper to bumper as they're pushing each other through the first turn there. Type is currently 6th.
Sick 'em, boys.
And Type is currently 6th on grid, 10th overall. As the third place GS car is now catching the back of the TCR field at the moment, so they'll have to make their way through. As the battle for the podium is well spread out in the top of TCR at the moment, so we'll ride on board with the overall of GS of Black ZR1 and Championship close in tow.
Racing is so exciting, it's making me hungry. You didn't do your math homework?
Penalty.
Smokes currently so frustrated that he's spouting Fast and the Furious lines. Just at 5 minutes to go, that is roughly 3 laps and some change, if not, depending on when the GS cars cross the line.
Maintaining the gap between himself and championship. Possibly going for his
Black ZR1
first
doing
win
well
in
to
MTC.
try and hold off championship. He's got the pace, but has the inconsistency. Made his way through the TCR field quite effectively to maintain that lead.
Very, very consistent.
Race ban.
As Smokes is really trying to find a way by Country.
I don't have a super lessons anymore. I've taken it from. Yeah.
Chevy Cruise on Chevy Cruise violence as they both
Whatever
head down
you
towards
do,
the corkscrew.
don't participate in season 3.
Sounds like a herd of bees.
I think, now, I don't wish to jinx ZR1 here, but I think he has this race in the bag.
He's got a few more laps to go, but yeah, it's looking pretty good for the McLarens as a total right now.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't hit that pit limiter coming across the finish line, he
Yeah,
should be all
yes,
right.
the IRL pit limiter. That was a rough one to watch. He says we don't talk about that. Great. Yeah. As CPS Diablo makes his way around the TCR field of the 6th and 7th in class, Diablo will maintain his bottom step of the podium with just 3 minutes to go.
We are on lap 3 of 3.
Yes, the streamers will all see lap 3 of 3, but I will keep you up to date when the final timer
01
counts
is
down.
coming up on
The
some of the
yellow-
TCR cars, though.
The white flag will fly here in just a few. I think as GS crosses the line, they will have 2 to go. Just 2 laps to go this time by. Yeah, you'll have 1 lap, and then that's about 1 lap, so you'll have white flag at 15. 2 laps to go, yes. As Black ZR1 now catches another battle of Country and Smokes. He has got to do well to get himself around these 2 cars as he's going around the outside. Oh, and a big lockup on the outside
Almost
of the
way too
TCR
wide.
cars. And he now files back in behind the TCR field as now Championship has the opportunity to catch up. As he goes the inside line, Smokes gives him plenty of room. That is some heads-up driving by your TCR field.
For once.
As they now head up the hill, Championship still needs to make his way by as these other drivers. As Black CR1 tries to go around the outside, gets pushed
That was
wide into the
dangerously
gravel.
close to the wall
As
there.
Watts makes his way past Volcano as well, under the scenario into what looks like the last corner. I'm currently watching the other battle.
You have a maximum penalty.
As, yeah, Volcano back out in front of Watts according to the lap counter. But we will stay on this battle here.
We
for
have
the
a
lead
driver
as
sitting on track. We got yellow in season 2. I don't know why I said a color. Driver.
as it is the
going for
white
fourth
flag. White flag is flown, so Black ZR1 will have 1 lap to go. No, oh yeah, I forgot to say, with 10 minutes to go in the Michelin Pilot, there are no cautions called. Yeah, it was pretty much unnecessary to say, except for that last little incident of, looks like a driver in TCR went wide in the top of the hill. I don't know if that was assisted or not. We'll have to go back and find out later on in the race, but I want to keep our eye on this top battle for overall, with Black ZR1 now heading up the hill with Championship right behind him. He's just got to bring it home nice and easy, like half the track down, half the track to go.
I'm very close.
As yep, TCR is on their last lap, so anybody behind these leaders right now are on the checkered flag. So as Black CR1 crosses the line, as Championship is right there under his wing, can't get the go around as Black CR1 takes his first victory of the season in the McLaren. And now you will have no, you guys are done as well. Country and Smokes, you guys are done as well. Congratulations, Country, on your position on grid. Following, CPS Diablo crosses the line, as does Viper V10. He crosses the line in 4th place. Well done. And Trickster, overall pole on, or overall podium, coming into the second to last corner now. We'll ride on board with him. Now heavy braking into the final corner. He's got plenty of room, and he will take the top step. Congratulations. But it's not over, as Watts and Volcano are still side by side as they head to the second to last corner. Still side by side, door banging as they head into the hairpin. Watts on the inside line, as Watts will have the run down the front straight as it looks. Oh, it's trying to do a Jan Magnussen and Corvette Porsche. No, it. I think Watts came in second, as Volcano came in third there. Nicely done, everybody.
It's an overall.
It's based off
when
of
you
the
wave
overall
flag,
leader. It's not based off
Yeah,
class.
the checkered flag.
No, it's
No.
it's not. It's not
It's
done that way.
not. If that was the case, the Nürburgring endurance race would take 7 years.
Thank you, champ. Okay, well, that is our stream provisional podium winner is a black ZR1 in the GS class, and KMD Tricksters in TCR. Congratulations, gentlemen, on your top step podium positions for round 7 of the Michelin Pilot Challenge series by the Paddock Sim Racing. Points will be awarded shortly. For all of you viewers, well, first of all, any last words, Yuma, to the viewers at home? I know they're going to be seeing a lot more of you in the streams, so...
Absolutely. So follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter.
Yeah,
I will.
Hit 'em on the
for
socials.
those that don't know, I've been racing with the paddock for a long time, and after the last LMS round, I will be acting as a full-time steward for the Paddock Sim Racing. So you'll definitely hear a lot more from me.
Stewart and commentator, and he will be helping out along the way. So that is done. And once again, our winter season is just around the corner. Our Paddock Sim Racing Endurance GT Championship is right around the corner. Our season 2 of that, if you missed any of the first season, check out our YouTube channel for all of those races and my naive commentary. Pay no mind to that, but the racing is awesome. Yes. No, it's fine. And then also our European scheduled series, Formula E. It's going to be a 3-round shootout style series. That's going to be a fun one, with the 3rd round as a flipped grid for the best possible racing. And our NASCAR Truck Series, which will be out on an exhibition race September 15th. So if you want any more information on that, join our Discord. It'll have an open invite on our social media and our webpage as well. Click below. And with that, we're signing off for the night. Happy racing, everybody.